Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a seriously fascinating report from Genecapsule, and it explores a major, fundamental shift in global business. We're going to look at exactly how a single external regulatory mechanism is taking a topic that used to just be relegated to the sidelines and pushing it right to the very top of the corporate agenda. So get ready, because the way you view corporate strategy is absolutely about to change.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Why is sustainability suddenly a boardroom priority? For decades, sustainability was mostly treated as a nice-to-have. It was a nice little bullet point in an annual report, or maybe a PR initiative where a company would sponsor a tree planting drive and just call it a day. But recently, there's been this massive, undeniable shift. Today, if you walk into the boardroom of any major international corporation, sustainability isn't just on the agenda, it literally is the agenda. It's dominating conversations among CEOs, CFOs, and boards of directors. It is no longer about goodwill, it's about pure, unadulterated business survival and profitability. So what exactly flipped the switch here? What created this sudden, intense urgency?
Part 1. The Catalyst. CBAM.
So, CBAM stands for the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. You can kind of think of it like a transformative financial toll gate. Specifically, led by the European Union, it's an actual tariff placed on carbon-intensive products entering their markets, so things like cement, iron, steel, and fertilizers. What regulators have done here is entirely unprecedented in its scale. They've attached a literal, unavoidable, and heavily enforced financial price tag to carbon emissions across international supply chains. It means that the carbon footprint of your product is no longer just some abstract environmental metric, it's a real financial liability calculated right at the border. This isn't a suggestion, and it definitely isn't a voluntary guideline. It's a strict external financial catalyst that fundamentally alters the cost of doing global business.
Part 2. The subject: sustainability in focus.
Because of CBAM, the very definition of sustainability is being transformed in real time. We're no longer talking about generalized environmental goals like, say, reducing office paper waste. That's the old way of thinking. Sustainability is now a core, critical, operational element. In this new era, it means having absolute transparency into your Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 suppliers. It means rigorous carbon accounting that's just as precise and heavily audited as your financial accounting. It means understanding exactly how much carbon is embedded in your raw materials, because that carbon now equals a direct tax. Sustainability has basically morphed into a masterclass in supply chain resilience and direct financial risk management.
We're moving away from an old paradigm where sustainability was just this generalized, low-stakes goal focused on brand image, right? Straight into an urgent new reality where it's a boardroom priority. When the carbon intensity of your product dictates whether you can competitively price your goods in a major market, or honestly, whether you can even afford to sell them there at all, the stakes become monumental. The conversation shifts entirely from, hey, how can we look green, to how do we protect our profit margins, maintain our market access, and ensure our business model is even viable 5 years from now.
Part 3. The Impact. The Boardroom Priority.
This creates a really fascinating chain reaction. Step 1. CBAM is introduced. An external, unyielding regulatory force crashes into the market, completely outside of a company's control. Step 2. Sustainability is immediately impacted. Because of the new rules, a company's internal sustainability metrics suddenly dictate their cost of goods sold. The environmental data directly alters the financial data, which inevitably forces Step 3. A boardroom priority is established. You see, when a regulatory mechanism threatens profit margins, international market access, and overall company valuation, that just cannot be delegated to middle management. It skyrockets straight to the top. The board of directors is legally and fiscally responsible for steering the company through existential risks, and carbon pricing is exactly that type of risk.
Which means sustainability becomes a boardroom priority. The absolute highest level of corporate governance is now inextricably linked to carbon accounting. There's no going back from this point. The board must now oversee sustainability with the exact same rigor, scrutiny, and strategic foresight that they apply to mergers, acquisitions, and capital allocation.
Part 4. The final takeaway. So, the crucial point is this. If you're a corporate executive or a sustainability officer, this is the core progression you absolutely must retain. 1. CBAM acts as the external financial catalyst. It's the spark. 2. Because of that spark, sustainability is completely transformed from a soft PR initiative into hard operational data science. And 3. Because of that transformation, the boardroom becomes the final destination. The board has to take the wheel because the financial consequences are simply way too massive to ignore. This exact progression is why the entire business world is currently undergoing such a massive strategic realignment.
Which leaves us with one incredibly vital question to think about.
How is your boardroom adapting to the CBAM reality? Whether you're an investor, a business student, or an executive, I really want you to ponder how this exact regulatory shift impacts the businesses you care about. Are they treating sustainability like it's still just a generalized goal, or have they realized that the rules of the game have permanently changed? The companies that actually thrive in the next decade will be the ones whose boardrooms understand this reality today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep asking the right questions.